My name is Melanie and my job role here is Head of Marketing and Technology. We're a law firm based in the northwest of England. We're a largely litigious law firm, meaning that a lot of our case types land up in the courts. Some of the case types that we focus on mainly at the moment, and some that we're most prominently known for, include PCP claims, business energy claims, business interruption cases. We also do undisclosed commission claims. We are also taking on immigration cases now. We've decided to start helping individuals that are fleeing the war in Ukraine with pro bono asylum applications. We like to believe that we're fighting the good fight. And if you go on our website, you'll see that that's kind of our tagline, making justice accessible to all. My role at Barings is as the Head of Marketing and Technology for the firm. As you can imagine, that's quite a wide encompassing role. On the technology side, I manage the Zoho suite of tools. So the Zoho products that we use here at Barings Law are CRM. We use Workdrive, Writer, Social, Campaigns, Sign and Flow, and these all under the umbrella of our Zoho One subscription. Technology is not quite where it needs to be to support most law firms, so thank goodness we found Zoho. So when we were deciding which platform to use, there was a lot considered, and one of those main factors was how much it would cost us as a firm to implement the solution. One of the issues that we found with Salesforce is because we didn't have a Salesforce specialist in-house, we would more than likely need to outsource that to a special Salesforce implementation partner, and those fees can rack up unbelievably quickly. So the beautiful thing about Zoho is that you don't need to know everything there is to know about Zoho in order to implement it successfully. Pretty much any business can hit the ground running from the moment they sign up to Zoho. As a law firm that handles thousands and thousands of cases every month, my favorite feature has to be the automation and the power that gives us as a firm to bulk process so many cases. Everyone came around quite quickly to the idea that, you know what, this actually makes my life easier, it doesn't make my life harder. The staff know that there's not really any limitations to what we can do with automation now. If one of the team leaders or someone has an idea, they go, right, well, you know what, let's go speak to Mel because I'm pretty sure we'd be able to do something like this. And yeah, it gives our teams the ability to focus on the legal stuff, which is what really matters at the end of the day. So we use Zoho CRM to manage our entire caseload, all the way from the front end where we onboard the client, all the way through to litigation and finally settlement. We also use CRM to automate a lot of our correspondence to all of our clients. Moving over to Zoho CRM from Pipedrive has been an incredible experience. Back in the day, everything was disjointed, disconnected, relied on big teams of developers to make, little things work well. Since moving over to Zoho, we've been able to double our caseload on a monthly basis. We've been able to automate a lot of the very menial tasks that people used to have to do manually. Everyone's got access to everything when they need it. The structure and control that we have within CRM makes sure that there's no issues with data integrity and people don't change things they're not supposed to, and it just means that we can provide our clients with the most seamless experience possible. Anyone can automate something on Zoho. So for example, if you want a client to be told that their letter of claim has been sent out at a certain stage in the CRM, Zoho can do all of that for you. The template editor is really easy to use and the workflows are really easy to understand. So every interaction we have with a client is recorded on CRM, whether that be a phone call, an email, a witness statement questionnaire. CRM is kind of the central point for every touch point with the client, which is great for our customer service teams. It means that at the click of a button, they've got access to the client's entire case history, and it's great for auditing purposes as well, meaning that every single thing that we've done on that case is present when the auditor needs access to it. CRM also has a really great Kanban view. You can customize pipelines to suit your legal processes, color code them, all the fancy stuff that comes with CRM customization, and it makes our team's workflows very visual and easy to follow. So one of the really cool flexible things about Zoho CRM is the fact that you can create your own custom modules. For example, we've used it to create a custom reviews module. And basically the way that works is every time a customer phones in and has an interaction with one of our customer service agents, if that phone call lasts longer than 60 seconds, We know that because our call system is integrated with CRM, which was really easy to do as well. The client will receive an automated email which encourages them to rate the interaction that they had today. The client fills in a short little survey that then pulls straight back into the custom reviews module, and we obviously use that for MI purposes. A lot of the time, the first you'll hear of an unhappy client is when they've left a bad rating on your Trustpilot or your Google page. We're trying to be proactive about it, and Zoho CRM allows us to do that by contacting the client straight after that initial phone call. We found that we've been able to often turn unhappy clients into happy clients just by a follow-up call from our customer service manager. Previously, complaints could take anything between 2 and 3 weeks to resolve. Some of our complaint response times have gone down to 2-3 days because it's just so much more efficient to work in one system to deal with everything. In most law firms, you'll find that they've got a typical case management software. In our case, that used to be Proclaim. Proclaim is a legal case management platform that you can use to keep track of all of your litigious cases. We use Proclaim for virtually none of our cases now. The only cases that still use Proclaim are cases where the cost billing is very specific and done by the minute. Otherwise, everything is run through on Zoho CRM. Some of the challenges that we've faced with Proclaim is the technology is quite old, meaning it's very difficult to customize. We have to hire a special development company that help us customize things in Proclaim still to this very day. The APIs are quite tricky and difficult to use, and the automation just simply isn't up to the scale that Zoho is at. We wouldn't be able to run nearly half the cases we run now if we were just using Proclaim. The team are thrilled to be using Proclaim less and less nowadays. We fondly refer to it as the dinosaur software. They just have so much more freedom and autonomy on Zoho CRM than what they did on Proclaim. And it's because Zoho CRM is all browser based and it doesn't rely on any kind of application to be installed on your computer. It just means that they can access it from anywhere, and that makes it a lot easier for everyone. Before the pandemic, we would have never been in a position to afford our staff the opportunity to work from home. One of the challenges of that was our Proclaim installation. We have Proclaim on a physical server in the office, which you would have to connect to via remote desktop, which is all right if you're working from home. But if your laptop doesn't have the right technical specs or whatever the case, it can be challenging to access some of these softwares. Also, we have to secure our Proclaim server ourselves. The great thing about Zoho is I can administer all of the remote working security procedures from my admin account. I've force-enabled a multi-factor authentication for everyone. Every time they log in, they have to use their the one-time PIN or whatever that gets sent to their mobile device, or they can use their authenticator app, however they choose. I can determine how many logged-in sessions users can have at any given time. I can whitelist IP addresses so that users have to use a VPN before they can access Zoho and that kind of stuff. So Zoho has really empowered us to give our staff the opportunity to work from home securely. So we use Workdrive to store all of our client files. We've structured it in such a way that it replicates or imitates the structure that we have within CRM. So each client will have their own folder in Workdrive, and then each client's folder will have folders that contain case information. So in a nutshell, the structure of Workdrive is a direct replica of the structure within CRM, which means that the integrity between our data management platform and our file management platform are very similar. We link all of the files from Workdrive back to CRM using Workdrive's API, which allows our legal staff and customer service agents to access all the files directly from CRM just by clicking on a link, which makes it nice and easy for them. We can also generate external links that we use for auditing, which we can password protect and encrypt so that they're obviously only accessed by the authorized personnel. So as part of our onboarding process, when we onboard new clients, one of the things we do is get permission from them to share their information with defendants and lenders and things like that. So obviously we need a safe and efficient way to transfer files to defendants and to lenders, And Zoho Workdrive is another way that we do this. So we secure the files by encrypting them and password protecting them in Workdrive, and then we share these files safely and efficiently with the lenders. Zoho Sign works well for us as a firm. Obviously, as a law firm, we've got a lot of legal documents that need to be signed, and Zoho Sign gives our staff the power to send those documents directly from the CRM. Previously, what they would have to do is exit the CRM, go onto our external signature application, DocuSign, select the template that they wanted to use, for example, and then manually fill in the client's information into that template, send it out, get it signed, that kind of process. It cost us an absolute fortune in comparison to a Zoho One subscription, and that didn't even give all of our staff access to the platform. So Zoho Sign has been a massive cost saving. Now, the fact that we've integrated Zoho Sign into the CRM means that when the agent or paralegal or whoever selects a template, Zoho automatically pre-fills a lot of the information in that, which in a lot of cases makes sending out the CFA or letter of authority a one-click process. Oftentimes, some of our documents will go out of date. If you've ever worked with a law firm before, you'll know that we often ask you to sign a letter of authority, and these only have a validity period of 6 months. What that means is sometimes when a case can take 18, 24 months, those documents will go out of date. The nice thing about Zoho Sign and CRM being integrated is we store the date that the letter of authority was last signed by the client. So if a paralegal notices that, you know what, we've only got a couple of weeks left on the letter of authority, they can send a new request for a letter of authority directly from the CRM. And it's nice and easy because while they're on the phone with a client, they can say, you know what, we see that your letter of authority is going to expire in a week or two, and as you know, we need a new one every 6 months. So while I'm on the phone with you, let me just send you a copy of the letter of authority. If you could just sign that for me quickly and return it, that would be great. It makes the whole experience seamless for both us and the client. Zoho Flow is kind of like a connector. So what it does is, if you need to connect something, let's say like Zoho CRM, to an external application like Formstack, which is an application that we like to use in conjunction with Zoho Writer, what it does is it allows us to bulk process certain things. So for example, if I have 500 cases that I need to generate let's say a letter of claim for example, but I don't want to do them one by one, and generating that claim is based on part of a process, I can trigger that bit of automation by moving the case into whatever stage we need it in. And what this then does is CRM talks to our external application via Zoho Flow, and then that transmits information back and forth.
My name is Jessica and I'm the Digital Marketing Executive at Barings Law. Before we had everything under one subscription, we did use MailChimp as our main mass mail generator. And at the time that was costing us around £20,000 a year just for that subscription alone. Now that we've been able to package everything together, we've cut down our costs significantly. When we used an email platform before, we couldn't segment our users based on their criteria. Zoho Campaigns has a great ability of being able to do that, which means that people aren't going to be getting the wrong email, or perhaps if someone has just opted in for their main updates rather than getting the newsletters and things like that as well, that's all there for them. At the moment, we do have around 500,000 clients at Barings Law, which means that at any given point, 500,000 people could receive the exact same email, which is fantastic for us. We can also send them out in batches as well. Some of our campaigns which have tens of thousands of clients in each, they can all be sent out in one go, or we can even just send an email out to one person, which is great. But the fact that we've got 500,000 clients, we can just send everything out in one click of a button, but we've also got the ability then to still continue upping our subscribers. We've still got around another 500,000 to go before we hit our limit, but then Zoho again will allow us to continue adding on to that if needs be. The great thing about Zoho Campaigns is that it can also integrate in with the Zoho CRM system as well. Everybody in the office uses the CRM system, whether it's keeping cases up to date or whether it's talking to clients about relevant updates. Now, if I've ever sent anything out on campaigns, everything's there on the touch of the button to everybody else in the office. So if a client calls in and goes, I've just received this email, I've got an update, I've got some questions, one of our colleagues will be able to just click on it and go, we know exactly what's been sent. They'll be able to run things through them in more detail, which makes their life a whole lot easier. To save us a little bit of time, we have our own specific pre-designed templates. Zoho can either offer you their own little templates that you can use, you can adjust yourself, or you can make your own however that you want it. So we've made our own with Barings' own brand, and all we have to do is, if we're sending out another email, is just click a button, we can clone it if we think that if the style's going to be the same, or we can potentially, just create a brand new one. All of the logos and everything are there, and we can just add everything in as we want. But the great thing that I like about email templates as well is that you can do more than just writing it. So you can add in buttons, you can add in call to actions, you can add in images, you can even adjust content based on each individual person. So if I'm sending out an email to 2,000 people who all need something individually tailored to them, I have the ability to do that. A lot of the time we need relevant information from our clients. It could be something such as vehicle registration, or it could be uploading a document such as their ID. Now, because everything's in our CRM system that the clients have, we are able to then create a custom link based off that information that's in the CRM that then gets synced up to the campaigns, which is absolutely great, because all I have to do then is just click a button and pop in the field, custom URL for example, and then from there, when the client clicks on it, they've got everything already pre-populated for them, they've got all the information that's come over from the CRM, and then all they'll have to do is see the bit that we haven't got, that we need, they'll just fill in that for us. They'll click send and it will come over to us. Zoho offers a great thing with reporting as well. So for me, I always have to go and present a lot of things. So it could be our customer engagement, it could be our insights, how people have been responding to us. I can easily go into campaigns and I can pick out exactly what I need from there. So for example, with campaigns, I can either produce reports per campaign that I've sent out, who's opened it, what time they've opened it, where they're based, which is a great thing as well, because it shows where our clients are more likely to be engaging with us as well. It also shows our click to open rate as well, so somebody can open the email and potentially just have a skim through it, but if there's stuff in there that they need to click on, for example, they can also view the click rate as well. So we know 50% might have opened it, 20% might have clicked through, we need the other 30% to do the same, so then we can send out a follow-up campaign in the future. The great thing that I find about Zoho is how accessible it is to every single person that uses it. How it's set up is so simple, it's so easy that anybody can use it. We have quite a different age range of people within our business, and some of those people come from a generation where computers wasn't introduced in schools, they only ever used one, in their later years, for example. My favourite Zoho feature is actually the ability to be able to create field updates. It's the automation from the CRM into campaigns that I love the most, because it just saves me so much time. I would really recommend it to people who want to focus on improving their business as a whole. So in terms of marketing, there's a lot of content writing that needs to be involved, whether it's you're writing blog posts, social media posts, even if it's just campaign updates, or you're sending out a newsletter. It's where everything is stored for you. You've got all your grammar checks on there, you've got your proofreading. You can always ask for another set of eyes, but having that installed there just makes life a little bit easier, because as a human, we can sometimes overlook things. There can be little errors, whereas Zoho is absolutely great for picking up all those little things. It makes everything so streamlined. Before we started using Zoho Social, we was actually using something called Sprout Social. That was costing us around £250 a month. It was another additional cost that we didn't need, and Zoho One was able to put that into the package again for us. What we've been able to do with Zoho Social is being able to link up all of our social accounts. So we have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We've just started up a TikTok, and we're going to be making an Instagram. Even they can be integrated into that system for us. If I wanted to make a social media post, all I have to do is click new post. I can click which platforms I need it going out to. A lot of the time it's all of them. I write out the content in one little box. I can add images, I can put emojis in there, I can add links, anything like that. Click send, and it's uploaded to every single system. Not only that, it also comes up with a little post that shows you your calendar over the past month, so you can see how often you've been posting, if you're keeping it up with sort of a pattern. For example, if you think, oh, nothing's gone out in a week, you can go, I sort of need to post. But you can also follow your engagements as well. So how many people have been looking on your Facebook profile, how many people have commented, how many new likes you have, how many unfollows you might have. But also you're able to track just your basic insights as well, which is something that a lot of social platforms don't have. You can't just see how many times people have viewed your page, which is great for me because it means I know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. You can also manage the customer engagement on there as well. So if somebody comments on a Facebook post, it'll come up as a notification for me on Zoho Social. I can click on it and I can reply to them there and then as well. So I'm not having to constantly go in between all different social media platforms. I can just do it in one place.
Before we started using Zoho One, a lot of our applications were kind of disjointed and all over the place. We were using things like DocuSign for e-signatures and MailChimp for email marketing campaigns and SendGrid for transactional emails, and just staying on top of all of that was pretty chaotic. I came across an implementation of Zoho One at one of our partners. We saw how they were using Zoho, everything from using CRM to onboard new clients through to getting them to sign documents online using Zoho Sign, and that was all just automatically integrated, and the database structures were easy to follow, and both myself and my practice manager were instantly hooked on the idea of Zoho. It was the only thing we could talk about on the way back to the office in the car. We were really looking forward to the demo to see what Zoho could offer, and to see how we could tailor it to suit the law firm. After we booked our demo with Zoho, and initially it was focused mostly around CRM, but during the demo Zoho made it very clear that there was a whole host of other tools that we could be using. And we had seen it with Sign, but at the time we assumed they were all separate applications. Zoho One kind of brings that all together. After the demo with Zoho, I decided to go off and take a look at alternatives, due diligence. And I considered Salesforce. I found Salesforce to be quite cumbersome in a sense, quite difficult to customize. I've heard from peers in the industry that it can take years to customize it to the point where you can use it. Also requires a very special set of internal skills to manage Salesforce. I reopened conversations with Pipedrive about how they could accommodate the features that we were lacking, and they weren't very helpful. After taking a look at all the different options, it was just a no-brainer. So obviously in my day-to-day I'm quite a busy person, so it's nice to be able to administrate all of the company's apps from one place. Before Zoho One, I used to have to log into 5-6 different platforms to give all the new staff logins. Now all I need to do is log into the Zoho One admin panel, and I can onboard a new starter straight from there. So now my onboarding process is nice and easy. All I have to do is create them a login on our server, and then Zoho does the rest. When it comes to administrating individual access to Zoho One applications, the admin dashboard makes it really easy to do this. I can give whoever I like access to whatever app. So for example, if I need to give someone access to Zoho Sign, I simply click on their name in the admin panel and assign the Sign application. What's really great about doing it from here is that I can control user permissions from within the admin dashboard. I don't need to physically log into Zoho Sign to control that. And I can do all of that in bulk as well, which makes my job really easy. I know that as part of the Zoho One suite of applications, we've got access to so many different things. We have barely even scratched the surface in terms of apps that we've got access to. There's enough to offer within the Zoho application that you could certainly have 1 or 2 people managing it full time, and making the most out of everything that it has to offer. So I know that as we grow as a law firm, Zoho One's applications have the scalability to grow with us. We know that we're not going to be limited by, silly limitations on certain apps. And our current client count's at about 500,000 clients on CRM alone. So it's nice to know that the firm is secure in its software choices and that those software choices are scalable. The really great thing about Zoho One's pricing model is that we pay an organization-wide subscription fee per user. That gives you access to everything. You don't need to worry about paying subscription fees for all these individual apps. My first recommendation to someone looking for a new system, specifically in the legal field as well, take a look at Zoho One, give it a chance. It's just got so much to offer. You don't need a big tech team to implement it. You can manage it whether you've got 5 employees or 500 employees. We have recommended Zoho to quite a few of our business partners, and quite a few of them have begun the implementation process. They've seen what Zoho has to offer and they've kind of jumped on board.